While I'll be the first to admit that waiting until the 6th round to return to addressing the interior offensive line isn't exactly how I would have drawn up the draft for the Seahawks, getting Bryce Cabeldue in the 6th round makes me completely fine with that. In this video, we're going to talk about why I truly do believe that Cabeldue will start sometime in his rookie contract, and he could develop into a really good player. For a 6th round pick, that would be an incredible outcome, but he does have the talent. The biggest thing that jumps off of the tape when you watch Cabeldue is just how great of an athlete this guy is. Coming in at 6'6" and 306 pounds, Cabeldue played tackle in college, but he's going to be making a move inside to play guard. But no matter where he lines up, he just moves differently. Let's watch this play, which is one of the most impressive reps on his tape. Here the Jayhawks are running outside zone from shotgun. This is a play that isn't really run from the gun that much in the NFL, because the angles are just kind of weird. Outside zone weaponizes angles and timing, and it just doesn't work that well from the gun. You won't see this much in the NFL because teams are more willing to go under center in the league, and just doing it from the gun just makes it harder on the offensive line because the entire concept is hitting faster. Here the defense is in an Oki front. That means they're in a 5-0-5 front with the linebackers aligned in 30s. Let's break that down. Inside you have a 5 technique aligned over the tackle, a 0 technique aligned over the center, and another 5 technique. The linebackers are in 30 alignments, which means that they are aligned where 3 tech could be, but they're off the ball. So that's why you add the 0 to get to 30. This is a very college-y front from the defense. This is important because Cabeldue has the toughest blocking assignment on this concept. He needs to go reach the linebacker. Not only is the linebacker lighter and faster than him, but he's also aligned as a 30, which means that he's inside of the tackle. There is a ton of ground to make up here, and that is what Cabeldue does. He's quick out of his stance, he has surprising speed in space, and he's able to latch onto the linebacker and turn him. He kind of gets away with a hold there at the end, but this is an excellent demonstration of everything that he brings. He is a freaky athlete, and Kubiak is going to love running outside zone with Bryce Cabeldue on the field. I know I've talked about athleticism a lot when talking about Kubiak's system, but that's just how important it is. It's not just a plus if you're good in space, it is a prerequisite for getting on the field, and Bryce Cabeldue checks that box. Let's look at one more play that shows his tremendous athleticism. This is a pin and pull concept from the Jayhawks working towards the sideline. While pin and pull is a gap blocking concept with the guard and tackle pulling around the pin block from the receiver, the back side of this concept is usually just zone blocking rules, exactly like outside zone, and that is what happens here. This is a textbook backside zone combo block. The guard gives one hand straight down the line of scrimmage to try to hold the 3 technique for just a second to give Cabeldue a chance to overtake. The guard is not really engaging with the defender because he has to immediately climb up to the backer. All he can give is that one punch, and then he has to leave. So that makes this a really difficult assignment for Cabeldue, but again, his athleticism is just special. He uses a quick drop step, which is what you call this backward step that he takes to swivel his hips, and then he quickly overtakes the defender and seals him off. His athleticism is the core of his upside. It is really remarkable, but there's one more thing that I think can bring even more upside to Bryce Cabeldue in the NFL. Because Cabeldue's aggressiveness and mentality as a blocker really surprised me. Usually these hyper athletes along the offensive line aren't physical players, but Cabeldue actually impresses in this area. Let's look at this play where Kansas is running QB counter. The front side of this play is all blocking down, and then they're pulling the backside guard, backside tackle, and they're having the running back all lead the way for the quarterback. And Cabeldue just flattens his guy. Again, this is really unusual to see from a great athlete. Guys who get off of the ball with bad intentions and attack defenders are usually players who don't move like Cabeldue does. He's not some absurdly nasty blocker, but it's a lot more than you would expect, and his mentality is something that you would look for in your offensive lineman. But now we need to switch over to the reasons why Cabeldue did go in the 6th round, because there's a lot of them and they do matter. This first one goes hand in hand with what we were just talking about. Yes, Cabeldue has a more punishing mentality than you might expect, but he also still lacks the power that you would look for at the point of attack. On this play, Kansas is running GY counter, and Cabeldue is trying to move this 3 technique, and there's just not a lot of movement that he's able to get. He is willing and he tries, but at some point, this guy was undersized for a tackle, and he will be more undersized as a guard in the NFL. That does matter. So when we're talking about his development that he needs in the NFL, step 1 is probably 2 more years of building strength and developing a more powerful frame. As it is, this guy is an athlete who can't really move defenders off of the ball. That is important, and it has to improve before he's going to be able to hold up on an NFL field. The other weakness in his game is the consistency of his angles and his hand placement. There were stretches of tape where Cabeldue just struggled to make contact with defenders. He would consistently misplace his hands or attack at the wrong angle, and there were just way too many blown blocks. This is a slightly comedic example of that, where Cabeldue misses not just one block, but both of his blocks on this play. So again, there's a lot of development that is needed before he's a consistent player. As for his pass protection, I don't know if I can overstate how difficult it is to project college tackle tape to NFL guard pass protection. When you're talking about pass pro, there's just not a lot that transfers. Again, he's not the biggest guy, so he probably will struggle against power, but his feet are really quick and smooth, so maybe he'll be good against finesse rushers. That's really the best I can give you. Anchoring down against a 320-pound defensive tackle is completely different than mirroring and anchoring down when the guy's 250, but he has a running start and you have to protect the corner. They each have their own challenges, and I just don't know if there are many takeaways from his tape that I can assume that will translate. He is athletic and he lacks power. I would bet that those would translate to pass protection, but we'll see. This is definitely something to monitor. In so many ways, Cabeldue has a long way to go, but his athleticism and his upside make this a really exciting selection. I'm giving this pick an A grade. This is exactly what you're looking for with your late round picks. Guys who need a lot of development and refinement, and you really are banking on your coaches doing a great job here, but in 2 to 3 years, I think that he could be starting. He has that level of talent, and I truly do believe in the Seahawks coaches, and that's what makes this such an exciting pick. Thanks for watching, and go Hawks.